right, you fell off your health habits and now you want back in. But you might be about to make the one biggest mistake that knocks most people right back off. If you've landed here, it's because you've fallen off those health habits and now you're trying to get back on track. You already know what to do. You've done it before. You were getting your workouts in, meal preps were happening, sleep was even on point, and you felt good. Now some time has passed and you're noticing those habits have faded. But here's the part that's probably messing with you. You probably can't even point to the day it happened. Like you probably didn't wake up one day and think, you know what? Today's the day I'm just gonna fall off all these habits. No. More likely though, life just got loud and busy. Things started to slip. First it was the meal preps. And then one day you look up and your routine is just completely off. So now you're trying to come back, which is great, but you might be about to make the one biggest mistake that knocks most people right back off. Usually within weeks or days, especially if you're the all or none type, kind of like me. In the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through two things. Why the typical restart plan sets you up to fail, and what to do instead so you get a plan that's much more likely to stick. It's actually the plan that's helped me through my most recent restart, and I like to share it with you. So let's get into it. If this is your first time here, hi, my name is Dr. Tashay Johnson. I am a family nurse practitioner, certified diabetes care and education specialist, and an endocrinology clinician. When I'm in clinic, I help people manage insulin resistance, prediabetes, diabetes, and obesity, as well as some other endocrine-related conditions. My heart and intention for this channel is to share clinical insights that are gained from practice and to bring health education and awareness, because your health is worth stewarding well. Okay, let's get back into it. First off, you are not behind. But I know it can feel like you are, especially if it's been a while or if this isn't your first time restarting. I get it. I've been there. But here's why I'm saying that. When your health habits slipped, you didn't just lose everything you had built. You're not starting back at zero. You're not starting at the beginning because you already know how to do this. You've done it before. And that's valuable experience. You know what a good week feels like. You know which foods work for your health goals and are in favor of good metabolic health, and which ones work against them. And your body even holds on to some of the work you've been doing. Muscle memory is a real thing. The muscles you trained before come back faster than it took to build, so that work you already did still counts. It's not a blank slate. You're not starting from scratch. You're just picking back up. And what the research says about starting and stopping may take a little weight off of your shoulders too. Here's what the research shows about falling off and coming back. A 2023 systemic review pulled together 37 studies and followed people over time as they tried to change how they move and how they eat. Slipping off for a stretch wasn't the exception. It was a common, documented, and expected part of the process. And one thing predicted who came back more than anything else. And it wasn't willpower. It was self-efficacy, which is your belief that you can actually do this. Here's the key. That belief doesn't come from just hyping yourself up. It's actually built by doing the thing and then watching it work. It's earned confidence, not borrowed motivation. Okay, put a pin in that because we're going to come back to it. It's going to tell us how to plan your restart. And this isn't new, by the way. Decades ago, a framework called the trans-theoretical model mapped out how we actually move through the stages of change. And it runs from not even thinking about changing to starting to think about changing, then preparing to change, actually making the change, and finally keeping it all going. And interestingly, the original trans-theoretical model actually included relapse, not as its own separate stage, but as an actual expected event that can happen within the action and maintenance phase. And it was noted that typically when a person relapses, the person cycles back to an earlier stage, such as the contemplation and the preparation stage, rather than starting back at zero. So again, relapse or falling off is common and even expected. It's not failure. So if you've started and stopped more than once, you're not the exception. That's actually how this process tends to go for most people. And there's something that you have now that you didn't have the first time around or the second time around. You know yourself. You know which days tend to fall apart. You know the first signs that things are about to slip because you felt those before. You know where your old plan stopped working and plans before that. You know that week that always tends to get skipped because of deadlines or travel assignments. And you know those parts of your plan that were unrealistic to start. That's some of the most useful information that you can have going into a restart. Because a plan that's built around what you actually know about yourself is very different than a plan that's built primarily on hopes, good intentions, and your goals alone. Well, let me describe the pattern I see most often when people try to come back. Full transparency, I've done this myself. So first they wait until they feel ready, until the motivation shows up, or until Monday, or the first of the month. Then they rebuild everything from the most ambitious version of themselves. Every habit tracked daily, the full training schedule, 5 days a week. You clean out the pantry, do a full-on grocery haul, just complete overhaul of everything. All the changes starting on the same day. That kind of Monday I'm talking about? Like this past June 1st, which was also a Monday. Maybe that was you, or last Monday, or May 1st. And about 2 weeks later, they're off again. And it's not simply from a lack of discipline. It's about the re-entry point. You're trying to pick right back up where you left off when your habits were on point. It's like trying to pick back up a book right where you left off a few months ago, right? Like you're gonna kind of need somebody to go back a few pages or even chapters to pick up the context again. When the starting line is too far away from where you are right now, consistency almost doesn't stand a chance. And it's not to say that you can't get there. It's just that right now you're asking for too much, too soon. That fresh start effect that I talked about in my previous video makes this all kind of predictable. Remember that mental reset that you get from a fresh start is real, and it's actually a pretty valuable tool. But that same research shows that early burst of motivation fades fast when there's no structure underneath it. Your motivation is highest at the very beginning. So if you spend all that early motivation and energy on an all or nothing plan, you've essentially used that best moment to build something that you're not likely to stick to or not likely to keep up with. The reset plan that's most likely to succeed is smaller than you think it should be. Week 1 of your reset is not about hitting your old goals, your old targets, your old numbers, or proving anything to anyone, including yourself. It's about one thing: getting the rhythm back. Simply becoming someone who shows up again, even in a small way. And there's a reason that matters: self-efficacy. Remember, it's that thing that predicted who came back, because you don't talk yourself into it. You build it by setting a bar that you can actually clear and then clearing it. So a small week of goals that you finish rebuilds that self-efficacy. But a big week that you end up abandoning chips away at it. Consistency is something that compounds, and consistency can only happen at a level that you can sustain. Now, I told you in my last video that I was coming out of a setback myself. And let me just give you a little bit of what that actually looked like. And it may even sound a little familiar. The season right before I filmed this latest series was a very demanding stretch of life, let's just say. I was full-time and still am full-time in clinic. I was deep in my doctoral program, solo parenting, and even just keeping up with my son's sports and social life was challenging in and of itself. And on top of all that, I had the nerve to be trying to focus on my health. But that workout routine that I had built, my sleep routine, my meal preps, time in fellowship, church attendance, time in reading God's word, not all of those habits survived that busy season. Not because I stopped caring, but because I was just carrying too much all at once. And something had to give. Now, I didn't let everything go. Over the years, from previous setbacks, I learned to protect a few non-negotiables, especially when life got real. So for me, that was my sleep, my eating habits, fellowship, and time in God's word. On this busy season, those things held up, not perfectly, but better than other areas. Exercise was where I took the biggest hit. Specifically strength training. Now, I tend to be a bit of a busybody by nature. So sitting, scrolling, binge watching shows is not really my thing. Do I watch YouTube and movies? Yes. But I'm usually with my earbuds in and like up and about doing things. So it's not that I was sedentary, but my dedicated exercise time took a hit, and my gym weights started collecting dust, quite literally. And right at the tail end of that busy season, I moved. So for a while, my home gym was packed up and inaccessible. So that just perpetuated that setback. And so here's why I'm telling you all this. Comment below in the chat if you can relate to that experience, life on top of life, perpetuating these setbacks or contributing to why the habits fall off. Because if you've been at this for any length of time, your health habits that you start don't usually just fall off all at once. Right? It's kind of like a slow burn. You're like beautifully juggling all the things all at once for a period of time. And then every so often you drop something. Sometimes you pick it back up. Sometimes you leave it on the ground for a bit. It's a regression, not a complete return to zero. Even though when you look up and you don't see all those plates spinning or all those balls in the air that you once did, it can sometimes feel like starting back at zero. And anyway, when I initially went to restart, the first thing I did was I rebuilt my plan from where I had been 6 to 8 months earlier. And I was quickly humbled. But what actually worked was starting way smaller than I thought I needed to. 2 strength training sessions a week instead of 5. Tracking my water and my protein because those were my biggest nutrition gaps. And 2 non-negotiable habits tracked every day. That was it. For me, that was my plan. And it kind of felt like embarrassingly easy. The only reason was because I kept thinking about where I was before my setback. But in reality, that was progress. I was not strength training 2 days a week even at that point. Full transparency, I had to keep resisting that urge to judge myself and to add on more to the restart plan, and I just focused on babying that plan. I got excited about every 8 ounces of water I logged into my tracker, every water bottle I had to refill, like the small stuff. And 3 weeks later, I was still doing it. That's the whole point. Not about how big the plan looked at the beginning of the restart, but will I be able to maintain this plan 3 weeks later? The plan is small, sustainable steps that move you towards your ultimate goal. And I'm telling you this from still being inside my plan, okay? I'm not at the finish line. I'm still rebuilding too. But I know how hard these restarts can be and how defeating they can feel when you overwhelm yourself at the start and find yourself restarting again and again. So I'm hopeful that this plan will work for you. Here's how I'd actually map out a restart, and I'll just show you what this looked like for me and how I track my progress. Now, I choose to use a tracking app, but you don't have to. You can use good old pen and paper or your favorite notes app. First is find your baseline. I'm going to start with food because your food quality and composition matters, especially in the context of metabolic health and insulin resistance. Now, yes, of course, calories matter, but for these purposes, I'm not referring to counting calories. But when I'm referring to food and knowing your baseline, this is about awareness. When you've been off of your health habits for a while, you really may not know what your baseline looks like anymore as far as your eating habits. So when I restarted, I actually logged several days worth of meals. While in my mind, my nutrition habits had not been the thing that I let go of, I still wanted to get some more objective data. How much protein was I really getting? Because I do know that my internal estimator was a bit off there. How often was I snacking? My food quality, how balanced were my meals? How often was takeout sneaking in? Even though in my mind it was very little. This was not something that I intended to do forever. But when you're getting restarted, knowing your starting point is what makes your goals and targets more realistic for where you are right now, instead of guessing. And if logging even just a couple of days of full meals still sounds daunting, then don't. Just log your biggest meal of the day or the meal that you already know you want to work on. This information is meant to be useful data, not a deterrent. Now, once you know your baseline, you can set your targets. So that's what I did. I reset my targets, not the targets that I was ultimately striving for, but targets that were based on where I was in that moment. So set your targets based on where you are this week. Take protein, for example. Say 120 grams a day is what you were getting before your reset, and you were hitting that goal pretty consistently. But now you're only hitting 70 or 80 grams a day. An appropriate target for where you are right now just might be 90 grams of protein per day, not trying to hit 120 grams a day. And if you were getting 80 ounces of water a day prior to your restart, but you track your water intake and you're only hitting 50 ounces a day, maybe setting a target of 64 ounces a day is appropriate for where you are right now. This isn't meant to be prescriptive. And the point is not to recreate your previous peak or to try to land at your ultimate goal. The point is to set a bar that you can clear all week and then build from there. Because remember, a bar that you can clear or a target that you can hit builds something, self-efficacy. And we want to build that immediately upon restarting, because a target that you miss over and over just reinforces that same story that you're trying to rewrite right now. So start the bar low and raise the bar as you find yourself consistently clearing it, because raising a target feels like a win, but having to walk one back after you keep missing it stings a little bit. Not because it's actually a failure, but because it can feel like one. So again, set the bar where you can clear it and let yourself earn the increase. All right, so those are your targets. Then I would pick my daily habits. You know, the simple, did I do it or did I not actions. For some, that can be taking your medications. Did you get your movement in? Did you get vegetables in with each meal? Or just dinner, if that's your focal area? Did you get your scripture reading in? Your journaling? If you did it, check it off. That's the whole mechanism. And for reset, I would say pick 2, 3 at the most. It's not a laundry list of things that you want to be doing eventually. Just a 2 or 3 that matters most to you right now. Pick things that you can do on a hard day, not just an ideal one. You know, like the Tuesdays where everything tends to go sideways, that's the real test, not the Saturdays when you kind of have like all the time in the world. Watch yourself show up for 2 habits daily. Even just 2 will build momentum. And momentum is the whole goal for week 1. The next thing I did was schedule my workouts. For me, that was just 2 strength training sessions per week. That was my first goal. Not what I used to do, not what I thought I should be doing, just 2. And yes, I had to block the self-criticism that wanted to call that lazy. I focused on strength training specifically because I was already getting in other types of movement. My son and I were going on Pokemon Go walks. I was kicking the ball around with him on his non-practice days. So I was getting that moderate to vigorous physical activity in, but the strength training was a huge gap in my exercise regimen. So I picked that cadence and committed to that. And here's the part that can make or break that plan. Scheduling those sessions like real appointments, a day and a time. A workout with a spot on your calendar tends to get done versus one that doesn't. A workout that just says something like sometime this week is easily missed. So when are you going to work out? I recommend you put your workouts on your Google, Outlook, or iCalendar. Set it like you would a medical appointment or an appointment with the best friend that you truly intend on keeping. So that's what I do straight from my app. After I build my workout, I'm able to just go ahead and put it on my Google Calendar. I schedule it and I set a reminder for the day of to keep my workout top of mind. Then show up for what you put on your calendar. And that's a successful week. Here's what I want you to walk away with. The restart that you've been waiting for doesn't have to be a Monday, doesn't have to be the first of a month, or waiting for a specific day on the calendar for you to feel ready, because that day has been the plan before. You've done that. You've waited for Monday. You've waited for the first. The restart can be more subtle than that. Just one thing written down that you'll do starting today. Remember that pen I asked you to put into self-efficacy? This is where it comes back again. Ready isn't a feeling, but it's the belief you build after one day of follow through after another. Every small thing you commit to and actually do is a deposit into the confidence that you can actually do it. That's self-efficacy in action. So don't wait until you feel ready to begin. Begin, and the readiness will meet you. But don't try to restart your whole life all at once, all in one day. Just start with one thing, and everything else gets rebuilt from there. You know what the warning signs are before things start to slide. Use what you know about yourself. The plan is small on purpose. Mine was almost laughably simple, to me at least. 2 strength training workouts a week, tracking my protein and water, and 2 check-ins logged, which were my time in scripture and my meal preps. Targets you want set for your current baseline, where you are right now. That's enough. Don't let anybody else tell you that it's not, including yourself. The person who's still going 3 weeks from now with a small plan that they stuck to, that's not someone who started small. That is someone who started smart. And from there, they can keep raising the bar and clearing it. That person can be you. So if this is landing for you, here's where you go next. You need a small plan that you can create today. Write it out. Pen and paper will do, or your favorite notes app works great. The app I use to map all this out is my own, and right now it's still limited access while I'm building it out. But if you want in, I've linked a waitlist in the description box below. So sign up for it and I'll know who to reach out to when I'm ready to roll it out. But again, pen and paper works just fine, so don't let that stall you. Now, everything I've just walked you through sits on one major thing: consistency. And the video I made right before this one walks you through 5 evidence-based systems for closing that gap between what you intend to do and what you actually do. Because today's video shows you how to create the plan, but this video shows you how to keep it. I'll see you there.